Good morning, my gardening friends. Welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. I'm Lark, and I'm in Wisconsin, Zone 5. I'm a senior gardener. I live in a senior community, a 5-stage senior community, and I garden in raised beds. My raised beds are over there where you can see the cars in the distance. I am in the wetland area. We are fortunate enough to have 300 plus acres here. And I am probably the only one. I am the only one that forages. I have found nettle patch back here, and I'm going to take you for a walk. It might be bumpy because I am walking in the wetland area that has ruts. The deer go through here. A lot of goldenrod. But this is also the area that I picked my elderberry a couple months ago and made elderberry syrup. And the only person I had to fight for the elderberries were the birds. And I covered some of them, few of them, with row cover and tied it off. So I got about a quart, maybe 2 quarts of elderberry syrup made. So now what I have going in the apartment is nettle tinctures. Here's my nettle patch. Now what I've read is you don't pick nettle after it has gone to seed. So I cut back this nettle and I'm getting new growth now. Yes, this plant has gone to seed already, but now it's sending off new shoots. So I'm hoping that that's okay. So today I'm out here to pick nettle for fresh, and I'm eating it in my bone broth along with quite a few veggies in here. But this is taking the place of buying spinach. Buying spinach. I eat spinach raw, but I do not eat this raw. I eat this cooked only. So it saves on my bill, and it is more nutritious than spinach. Right up there with spinach. So after I'm done with this video, I'll be picking. I got a plastic grocery bag tied to my belt. And yes, I touch it and I don't get stung. My hands are probably used to it. And I only pick the tips. Now, I wouldn't pick this one because can you see the little seeds of the flowers where I didn't cut this one off? But up here, I did cut it off. So my question is to someone who is an herbalist, is this considered fresh growth when there is a branch on it that has gone to seed? Now, I just flipped my palm over here, right here, and I hit the nettle, and I can feel it prickly, but I don't feel it on the palms of my hands. So that tells me the top of my hand is thin-skinned, and I can feel the prickles, but not the palm of my hand. So this I would pick, and this I will pick. I'll pick off the tip like this and put it in my bag. So this is quite a bit of nettle here. It's all over there also. Got big nettle patch. This is fairly wet in here. We haven't had a real wet spring summer, but it is damp enough to keep really healthy nettle. The only other edible I found in here would be, well, actually goldenrod is edible. You can make teas out of it. I don't know its medicinal purposes, but I have so much other. I haven't gotten into the goldenrod yet. That patch there is also nettle. This whole tree line here, right there, is nettle. Believe me, I am thanking God that I have this to play in. And when I pick, and I might have done this years and years, hundreds of years ago as a Native American Indian. Maybe I stayed in the area and just came back as Lark. Maybe. I am a tree hugger. I'll just walk with you and you can listen. I'll chat a little. Before I came out this morning, I made some sauerkraut, fermenting some sauerkraut. And I also started some daikon radish. I think I told you, showed you I was growing daikon radish. And I'm pickling it. Just in a vinegar brine. Whatever you want to put in. I like salt. I use apple cider vinegar. A lot of garlic. Cut it in chunks and let it sit for a week or two. Kind of like how I would make pickled cucumbers, you know, in slices for a salad. Kind of like that. I just let it sit longer. So you can see where I'm walking. There's my home and the garden. So I came down here to get some vitamin D and to breathe. Winding down. Now working in my raised beds this morning, I noticed, what I didn't notice was any worms. I don't have worms. Now I used all organic matter in there, but it was bagged and it was a blend of like peat moss and I can't remember, pine bark or just bark, and typical blend. How they tell it's organic, I don't know, so they might be spoofing me with it's organic. So I am going to amend my beds. Instead of with straw this year or hay, I am using leaf mulch. Remember at my house how I used the lasagna gardening method with layers of grass clippings and leaves? Well, I'm going back to this. Now these leaves here I have had sitting for a year. There's 3 bags. I wish they were chopped up, but I'm in hope that they're pretty decomposed underneath there. Anyways, I'm going to use them. And my idea is to put them in a garbage can and then take the weed whacker and string trimmer and chop them up as much as possible. And they're crunchy, real dried and crunchy. So I take it, they're going to break up pretty easy. But I have to get organic matter in there. The green part of it is going to be, because you want carbon, the brown, and green is going to be my comfrey leaves. So I'll be cutting down some comfrey leaves. Everybody's winding down. The other thing I am doing, except in the bed where I'm planting garlic in a few weeks, in all the other beds, I am just chopping off at ground level the tomatoes and the peppers and the zucchini, and I'm leaving the root in there, hoping that the microbiome in the soil, all the microbes, multiply and grow and feed the soil. You know, sometimes it's very confusing when you listen to advice about how to grow good soil. So I am going to just try to mimic nature and use leaves. I am also going to use chicken manure from a friend here that she says her daughter grows organically. So I have to have trust. So I'm going to cut off at the base all the, let's say, the cilantro there, and let the root in and let it die back. Everything over here, except of course we eat the beetroot and the daikon radish, but everything else is going to get chopped off at ground level. Now I hear that the borage leaves are just as nutritious as the comfrey, so I'm going to be using that as green matter also. In fact, all this, I eat the daikon radish leaves, so what I don't eat this season, I'll put on the soil too. Can you see how this is shaded? Sun's coming around now, but it was shaded all morning. So that's my idea, to really work on building my soil. No more mix, what they call a raised bed mix. I'm going to be adding all manure and compost to these beds to top them off. Except for this bed right here where the hoops are, I am planting my garlic. So I am just going to amend it. Then with some garden tone, I believe, or biotone, because garlic is heavy feeder. And then I'm going to top it off with aged chicken manure and some comfrey leaves and some of those dried leaves that I showed you over there. Dave cut down all the orange cosmos, leaving the root, because I want to amend that soil also. So that's it, my gardening friends. Couple of my last peppers. I am going to keep saving my onion bags to cover peppers and tomatoes so the chipmunks aren't prone to eating them. This is one of my daikon radishes. Okay. And I eat the greens. I cook the greens. And then the young leaves, like right here, I would use for salads. These here I cook. I have some tomatoes yet and some green peppers. Now they might not amount to anything because it's getting cold and it's going to get down to 35, I think, tonight or tomorrow night. I do have some tomatoes on here. And if they're blushed, then I will pick them. I'm going to pick that one and possibly this one within the next 2 days before the 35 degree. But up there, I'm getting more tomatoes. So all in all, better than last year, better than the year before, but I keep learning, especially container gardening. So take care, my friends. Thank you for visiting me. I love it here. I hope it wasn't too bumpy for you. Bye-bye.